Welcome back, everybody, to Small Biz here on Business Monday here at GoLocal at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I am with Carlos Ventura, CEO, right? You got the top dog name?
Yes.
At Feast and Fiddles, a startup home food delivery, prepared meals, an interesting space, big players, and you're competing against them. And you do have a point of differentiation that I have to say could be the key to your success because the space is crowded and it's complex. Talk a little bit about the point of differentiation between you guys and some of the big boys who have raised tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. So Feast and Fettle, a meal delivery business based out of Rhode Island. We're actually headquartered out of Hope and Maine and Warren. But like you mentioned, our big differentiator is there's no cooking required whatsoever.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right?
Yes, exactly. So what that means is we actually are a food business, and I would actually call, the meal kit businesses, they're more like logistics businesses.
Yeah.
So we have a keen focus on food preparation. Everything remains super, super fresh, arrives to your door, and all you have to do is reheat it.
And a huge variety of different options for a startup. I mean, I think that's one of the points of differentiation that you've been able to do. And it's we're trying, and I'm gonna be. I've not tried it yet, but we're definitely gonna try. Yeah. Talk a little bit about how you've been able to create the number of different choices and opportunities for people.
Sure. So the business was actually founded by Maggie Movena, our executive chef. And she was a nanny in East Providence, or the east side of Providence, for a family. Food was amazing, but she did work in a family with different palates, different tastes, different preferences. So once the business was actually started, she understood that a given household has many different varieties and preferences and options, diet requirements, etc. So that whole premise has just carried through to what we do today. And we also don't want to be a fad business or a diet business.
Right.
And I'm sure we've all tried like 12 different diets in the past 6 years, so we just want to make the long-term play versus, I'm going to go gluten-free, and then once you go gluten-free and you've decided that you're no longer gluten-free, we still want to be there for you. So our menu always has gluten-free options, vegetarian options. I'm like a new vegan, and I order every week. So we make sure that we play to different preferences in the household.
You're starting here, you're starting at Hope and Maine, you're going to be moving to a new location in East Providence, give you a little more centralized location, access to highways. Talk a little bit about scaling the business. You're the CEO, they're the chefs, right? They're thinking food, you're thinking how do I move fresh food to different people in an efficient, scalable way. Talk a little bit about that experience.
Sure. So actually our kitchen location was decided in a strategic manner. Our location is actually 881 Waterman Ave in East Providence, as you mentioned, right by a lot of highways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that will allow us to, we currently actually serve all of Rhode Island. However, that will allow us to easily transition into Massachusetts, which we do plan to expand into in Q3 of this year.
Great. And how have you seen the growth? What have been some of the bumps and bruises? And what are some of the successes?
Yeah, so in terms of successes, in 2017 and prior to that, the business had never done any formal type of marketing. So it was all word of mouth, which works to a certain extent. But when we really wanted to turn on the switch and accelerate growth, we started investing in print advertising.
Print?
Print.
What is that stuff? Dead trees?
We can talk a little bit more about our members and our demographic, but print does work and is very effective. We did a little NPR. So this is all in conjunction with, of course, your standard social channels.
Yep.
Our most effective channels have honestly been our print advertising and word of mouth, and we plan to stick with that. That's where our demographic is. And
who buys you?
Working professionals. I would say, I'll be honest, our product is premium.
Yeah.
Often it's a dual professional household, coming home late at night, 6, 7 o'clock. Kids, the last thing you want to do is stop at, I won't name names, but big grocery stores, figure out what to eat, cook it, and then do all the dishes, and then before you know it, you have no time to spend with your family. So our members are really value time with their families.
And what's the growth you've seen? Talk a little bit about scaling the business.
Yeah, sure. So from 2016 to 2017, we more than doubled the business. So we had about 100,000 in sales in 2016, about 230,000 in sales in 2017, and we're on track again to more than double this year.
That's great.
We turn on marketing, and when we turn on the switch to Massachusetts, we would expect that to accelerate even further.
And how big logistically can you support from one location in East Providence, Rhode Island?
Sure. Just to give you a frame of reference, right now, out of our location in Warren, we're going all the way down to Westerly.
Wow.
With no issues. So, and maybe I'll add one more bit about our operations and how the kitchen works. So our food is cooked and then it's chilled.
Right.
And once it's chilled, we just keep it cold until it arrives at your door. And this is cooked and then at your door the following day. So as long as we can keep it cool, which we can, and travel over far distances, I think we now go about 60 miles out of our hub, we'll be able to deliver comfortably. So that 60-mile radius around the East Providence location will easily go into some very attractive areas into Massachusetts.
That's great. And you're raising some money right now? You're raising some capital? You want to talk about that? Is it your chance for some free digital advertising?
Yes. So we are raising capital. I would say it's in one of the newer fashions out there. We're doing a crowdfunding campaign. And to sort of explain that, just think of it as a Kickstarter with equity and ownership in the company. We've launched our campaign last Friday on a platform called Microventures, and Microventures is essentially a joint venture with a Indiegogo, which is another like crowdfunding campaign. So yeah, we've launched last Friday. We're getting the word out there, obviously.
Good.
And no, we really want to democratize the investment process for anyone out there that wants to get involved.
And do you see this as you're going to own a regional footprint, or do you see this as we're going to own New England, or do you see this as something that potentially could roll out across the country with different hubs and spokes?
There you go. So we have big dreams for this business. The focus is always the longer-term vision, which is that hub and spoke model. And essentially, we will create the initial hub model in East Providence, prove that model out, optimize it, get the tech right, get the recipes down, and really have something that we can replicate in other locations.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what's been the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge? So for me personally, staying in shape. No, I'm kidding.
Surrounded by food all the time?
Surrounded by food. I think one of the biggest challenges has been coming from an environment. I previously worked in London for a food delivery business, sort of like an Uber Eats. It's called Deliveroo.
Sure.
And that's pure digital, social. Everything we do from a marketing standpoint, or 90% of it, is pure digital.
Yep.
So when I came to Rhode Island, the scene's very, very different, even from a New York or a Boston.
Yeah.
Going back to my comment on print advertising being so effective, it's not just the demographic, it's just sort of how things are done in Rhode Island still. It's not a bad thing, it's just a different thing.
And then how have you worked with Commerce?
So we actually worked with Commerce and SEG.
Yeah.
They provided a $25,000 loan to us to help build out our new website, which rolled out in May, and that has just drastically changed, not even the front end for consumers, but the back end efficiency. Everything's automated now. We literally used to sit there with a tally and yell out every single entree inside everyone was ordering, but now that's all automated. So it's been a massive help for us.
Improve quality control, improve customer satisfaction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Flexibility, yep.
And you've got a much better than average retention rate in keeping your customers?
Yeah, and I think that just goes back to us being a food business first. Our product, I mean, it's second to none. I was literally shocked when I tried it for the first time, and that convinced me to personally invest in the business.
Yeah.
And as long as we maintain that product quality, we won't have a lot of the profitability issues you see a lot of these meal kit companies / logistics companies.
Yeah, right. Complex business model.
Yes.
And any other milestones coming up that people should know about?
Yeah, I mean, we're launching our kitchen, as you mentioned, in October. The crowdfunding campaign. We have a personal milestone. Our founder and executive chef is expecting the last week of August.
That's great.
So a lot going on.
Yeah, good
I'm
for
getting
you.
married next Friday.
Congratulations.
Shout out to my fiance, I have to say.
Well done.
Yeah.
Better than forgetting.
Fair point. So no, I mean, just a lot going on for the business right now, and we're excited to see, you know, what we're able to do in this new kitchen.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to hearing about the success. Tough space, but
Yes.
it looks like a nice differentiation in the business model and how you're delivering. Keep us up to date on all of it. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the 3 o'clock Small Biz Hour. We'll be back at 4 o'clock. We'll have Gary Sass on talking UHIP, etc. And then at 4:30, we'll have Saul Kaplan. His BIF event just got named as one of the top events by Forbes magazine. So we'll be popping champagne and all that kind of stuff. We'll see you back at 4 o'clock.